Hey guys, how's it going? Ah, crap. How you doing today? Woo! Yeah? Yeah? Welcome to the 6th annual Summer in the City. It's an event that's close to a lot of our hearts. What we do is we gather as many crazy people as we can, and we shove them in one big venue and see what happens. I'm not talking about you. No, like, you guys are fine. You got it together. I'm talking about us up on the stage, because you have to be crazy. You know the old adage, you don't have to be crazy to work here, but it helps. You have to be mad to invent some magical made-up job and then go do it. It's like an entire generation got up one morning and were like, what if we put the wheels on the top of the car? And I read this article. I read this article a few weeks ago about this couple of French women who were living in a cave because they're like hypersensitive to electromagnetic signals, and all the Wi-Fi in the air was making them crazy. And I thought, isn't that all of us? Like, you don't have to manifest physical symptoms. The symptom is this. This is it. It's happening here. So, that's going on. That's weird. My name is Christopher Bingham. Yeah, a lot of you hopefully know who I am. But I go by Bing. And that gives me this fantastic opportunity when I meet people for the first time to catalog them. If I introduce myself and you say, oh, like Chandler Bing, you get immediately put in this little mental box labeled forget. But if you say something like, oh, like Bing Crosby, then I think, whoa, there could be something here. I should talk to this person. Am I allowed to step forward? Yeah? No? No? Like I think, whoa, hey, there's something here. I should talk to this person. So I get chatting to them, and of course, inevitably, it turns out that the only reason they didn't make the Chandler Bing joke in the first place is because they live in a tree, and they've never heard of Friends, and I have to pull everything out and refile, and it takes forever, and people don't see me. I missed a wedding once because somebody made a joke about my father being a search engine. It's crazy. And that's just the first half. That's round two. That's round one. Then comes round two, where I actually have to commit your name to memory. I have this disease, this issue, this serious issue. It happens, and some of you may even have it. I forget people's names immediately, arbitrarily, no matter what. Even if they could be the most interesting person in the world. You come up to me and introduce yourself and say, hey, I'm Susan, I'm a beekeeper. And I'd be like, by the bees, by the word and. I have forgotten your name, it's gone. It's like my brain laid out the whole sentence and evaluated the information and was like, oh, in the furnace with you. And I'm just left staring there. So I've tried to deal with this deficiency of mine. You know, you can do the repetition, you know, Susan, 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 Susan. And if they're in a big group of people, you can be like, Susan, Brian, Dave, Algernon, Dave, Brian, Susan, and you can have a little fun with it. You know, you can mix them up like Brian, Dave, Susan, Susan, Brian. No one likes that guy. No one likes him. They find his aura unsettling to be in. It's weird. And I figure it's easy to forget Susan, right? It's okay as well. It's okay to forget Susan's name, really, because statistically speaking, she probably spends all of her time on BuzzFeed looking at lists. And I don't want to know that person. I want to know them. But that's how we get all our information now, isn't it? That's the only way we get our information now. It has to be codified using a very simple set of rules. 5 blanks that blank blank, 10 blanks to blank, 7 reasons to blank, or 10 blanks you didn't know could blank. And I'm really scared like where this goes, what this leads to. Like, do we get to a point where we can only sell films if they get retitled using this formula? You know, The Hobbit becomes Tiny Hairy Man Invited on Magical Quest. You'll never guess what happens next. And all of you whose eyes just lit up, I saw a few of you whose eyes genuinely lit up because you're more excited about that. You're like, oh, I'm gonna go home tonight and watch that. You're all in the box now. You're all in there. I'm really, really concerned that this is gonna become the only way that we discern information, that all information in the world is gonna start being funneled to us through this algorithm. We're gonna get letters from the government that are headed 15 socially awkward situations for late taxpayers. We will get you. And doctors consoling you with like 10 spinal fractures that wouldn't have resulted in your paralysis. Or the classic 5 ways we can make your grandmother more comfortable. I mean, I could have streamlined the whole set to this point. I could have, yeah, that was a lot of, that made you sad, didn't you? That hit a nerve with a couple of you. I'm sorry. You didn't come here for that. I could have streamlined my whole set to this point as easy as 10 names I have trouble remembering. 1. I'm getting older. I mean, older than you. I'm gonna die. I am gonna die. That's something you have to deal with. I'm okay with it, but I am, and that's one of just many, many modern behaviors that don't make sense to me anymore, like mobile gaming. As far as I can see, the ideal feature of a successful mobile app is that it adds more responsibility to your life. But we give these things real power. We endow them with real value. They've become, apparently, an important part of our lives. We're going to start passing them down from generation to generation like family heirlooms. Son, I built this farm with my own 2 thumbs. And now I'm handing it to you to continue my legacy. Just remember, you have to rotate the crops counterclockwise every day, and you have to remember to pick up all the little coins that when the cows... You know what? I'm not ready to let go. I'm just gonna upload my consciousness into the cloud and live forever in Facebook. If you need me, you can send me a message. Oh, your mother. Well, I mean, she's never been very good with technology, you know, so I figured we'd just let her go. I mean, that's crazy, right? That's crazy. We give these things so much power over us, and they essentially do nothing. I'm a person who grew up with video games. I'm the generation that grew up the same time video games were growing up, and to me, mobile apps look like this weird mirror universe version of video games from a universe where game developers were like, what if it does nothing and goes on forever? Yes! Yes, we can sell that. And I mean, take any big title, you know, big successful game, Candy Crush, Tiny Tower, Farmville. The gameplay basically boils down to tapping different areas of the screen in different orders for the appropriate amount of time. And when you have tapped those parts of the screen in the correct order for the appropriate amount of time, your reward for doing such a good job is that you get to tap more areas of the screen in new and exciting orders and for longer amounts of time, forever. And there will always be some jammy little dick on the ground floor who can't press the button in the lift for himself. There will always be a stream of them forever and ever until you die. That's just the way it's built. That's it. And I mean, everything is derivative, right? Everything everything's derivative. Every generation basically just copies the previous generation. And Tiny Tower is just a really slow, easy version of Tetris. And Tetris is basically just Tiddlywinks. And Tiddlywinks is just that weird game that Proto Man played with the stone and the animal skull. And as everybody knows, time is a tangent curve that makes up one side of a never-ending figure eight, and those cavemen were probably just ripping off Flappy Bird anyway. Yeah, you think about that for a second. Mike and Jacob Truman, one half of them, there's one of them. Mike Truman over there, who's responsible for all of this set, basically, has an impersonation of me that he likes to do. It goes a bit like this. Hi, my name's Bing, and do you like my corduroy shoes? Would you like a organic herbal blend? Any of you who didn't notice a difference between my normal speaking voice and that impersonation, you're in the box. You're also in the box. That's what, like 40 or 50% at this point. I'm sorry. It's not, I don't make the rules. It's up here. My brain is, like, I don't touch cocaine, but my brain is on it. It's like, whoa, who was that? But I don't know you. Where's more? Anyway, and he has this impersonation of me. It goes, oh, hi. You got to sink your chin, like that. And I was working on this set, and I was putting this set together, and I was working on material, and I started throwing material out because I realized that all it came down to was, oh, look at how quirky Bing is. Oh, that's weird. And I threw it out because it wasn't a joke. It was just me being weird. Like I named my soy milk Brian. That's just a thing I did. I just did that. There's no punchline there. You don't laugh. That's weird. That's just a story from my life. And I was standing one morning pouring Brian over a bowl of organic oat flakes, and I was listening to Kanye West's experimental album Yeezus, and I was thinking about how sad it is that so many people don't really understand what it's about, you know, they don't really get it, and it hit me. All of my friends are right about me. They are all completely right. They are all 100% right. Mike had it right the whole time. And I look back, and I'm still pouring, and the milk is going everywhere. The milk is everywhere, and it's pouring over, it's bubbling over the bowl, bubbling over the edge of the bowl, and it's pouring over, and it's hitting this splashing onto this banjo that I own, but I can't play. And I run to this cupboard that in any normal person's house would contain kitchen roll, but in my house, it contains crayons. And now the milk is everywhere. It's still coming somehow. It's everywhere. It's on the floor. I look down, it's soaking into my Nike Air Jordan socks. And I look down, I'm wearing this faded Ricky Martin t-shirt that's too small for me and was printed in 1999. And I fall to my knees, and I hug myself. I collapse in a ball on the floor, and I allow this sea of soy, which is still coming, to just flood over me, because I know now, I know that I am a professional hipster. But I was probably just copying it from someone else though, right? That's how it works. Anyway, that's a little bit of my life. If you enjoyed this comedy, it's actually an adaptation of the critically acclaimed poster, which is available over at the merch store. That's where I'm going to be for the next half hour, 40 minutes. And I'd just like to leave you with a little bit of advice. As you get older, like me, You're going to need one of those boxes. Build it now and build it strong. Okay? Cool. I'll see you in a bit.